Hi, I'm Nathaniel, and I'm going to go over 5 different cameras that you can find for under $300. That's going to include everything you need: a lens, battery, charger, memory card, and hopefully, if you're lucky, a card reader. They will all be linked in the description below, and I will have alternatives because at every price point there are a few different models that can be found for under $300. I used eBay and the sold items filter to determine pricing. The best prices are almost always from when people win auctions. That's not to say you can't find deals on other marketplaces. The more time you spend looking and the more models you're open to looking for, the more likely you're going to find a good deal. First up is the Canon Rebel T6i, also known as the 750D or KISS X8i. It was released in 2015 for $900 with an 18 to 55mm kit lens. It's the easiest camera to find as Canon had the largest market share of DSLRs during this time. I think it's a good choice because it has a fully articulating front-facing flip screen and it can record 1080p 30 video. If you are particularly interested in video, I would actually recommend getting the previous version, the T6i, as that is compatible with Magic Lantern, which is third-party firmware that improves the video capabilities of the camera. I would avoid any model that doesn't have an I, like a T5 or a T6, T7, as they have screens that are fixed on the back and can't flip out, articulate, and you won't be able to see yourself if you want to film yourself with the camera. And then the alternatives, especially if you're interested in photography more than being able to record video, would be the Canon 5D Mark II. You will not be able to find this probably paired with the lens. You'll have to buy the body separately from the lens. It's a full frame camera. You'll only be able to use EF lenses on it, but it's a great choice. I'm really happy with it. I own one. There's also the 7D, which has a screen in the back which is fixed in place. So better for photography, but not for video. And if you are able to get lucky and find a good deal, the 70D would also be a good choice. In terms of lenses, the camera is compatible with EF and EFS lenses. I'll put prices up for lenses that I think are a good deal. And these lenses are just going to be the most widely available, best value, best bang for your buck that you can pair with the camera. Next is the Nikon D5200 that came out in 2012. It originally sold for $900 with an 18 to 55mm kit lens. Lens compatibility can be a little bit annoying. There is actually a chart that you can and probably should refer to if you want to buy any lenses for the camera. This is one of the downsides in my opinion. It's not a huge deal because the lens selection for it isn't great either. Nikon really wanted you to buy a full frame camera. You do want to keep an eye open for a D5300. You might get lucky and be able to find one of those for under $300. Another option that's going to be close to maximum budget is going to be the D7100. This is going to be an excellent choice for photography. There's also the D3400, which was the entry-level model that Nikon had whenever it was being released. And the one downside of that is that the screen on the back is fixed. And that's going to make it more difficult to do video and then get fun angles with photography. Generally say avoid the base level cameras. I think the D5200 would probably be a better choice than anything in the 3000 series. And then I'll go put lenses up. Here's what I think would be good choices for the camera and the general prices that I think would be a good deal. Next up is going to be the Sony A5000. This camera is exciting to have on the list because it uses the Sony E mount, and that is still a mount that's current and being used, unlike the Canon EFS and Nikon F, which are both discontinued. The camera's from 2014. It originally sold for $600. Paired with a 16 to 50mm power zoom lens, and that's where a little trouble is going to come in. The lens does not have the best reputation. terms of image quality. So that means that you might want to buy the camera without a lens and then buy a lens separately. And that's where you run into the issue with the Sony E-mount lenses, is that there's not a huge selection of lenses under $100, under $200. So when you take into account trying to stay under $300, that might be a little difficult with this camera. The one other option you can look for is the Sony A5000, and that also uses the E-mount, but it has an SLR style body as opposed to the very small and thin A5000. And here are the lens options. I'm very hopeful that you can find a good deal on something and make the system work out for you. The Panasonic G7 was released in 2015 for $800 with a I think it was 14 to 42 millimeter kit lens. I actually purchased one in 2016 for $500 when my Nikon D750 had to go in for the mirror box recall. I ended up really liking the camera. I used it for several of my poorly filmed but whatever videos in the past. I have actually thought about repurchasing one, but then I also think about getting a GH4 because I haven't used that camera. With that said, I think it's an absolutely fantastic camera, great for learning the basics of photography or videography. You might have to work a little bit and go after auctions to find one with a lens and everything for under $300, but I think it will be doable, especially in the future as this video ages a little bit. Some other options to look for are a GH2, GH3, G5, or G6. My favorite thing is that it uses the micro four thirds mount, and there are just so many lenses available for under $100. It's where if you're, on a tight budget, photography, videography, it doesn't matter. You can find a lens that's going to work for you. And finally, there is the Olympus OM-D E-M5. Was released in 2013 for $1,300 with a 12 to 50 millimeter kit lens. And I actually have one of the similar and related models, might be a little over $300, but the original EM1. This is a great camera for photography, and the EM5 will be as well. The video features aren't incredible, and it's not really a system to go into for video. I'd recommend either the Panasonic or the Canon cameras. What is going to be great about it is it's going to have excellent build quality, probably better than any of the other cameras on the list. Lots of great technology, and really an excellent choice for photography, especially if you want something portable and you can walk around with. It has a micro four thirds sensor and mount, so it uses the same lenses as the Panasonic G7 or any of the other micro four thirds cameras. I think the lenses are awesome. There's such great value there. It's why I like micro four thirds cameras. I think Fujifilm might make an appearance in the next video, whether that be cameras under $400 or under $500. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. There will be more videos about gear that hits your price point in the future. And until next time, make sure to watch one of my other great videos.